The struggle being waged in the Sahel is not a plea for charity in the form of sovereignty. It is a fight to reclaim our sovereignty. And from this perspective, my remarks revolve around two cliches that need to be clarified. Because we observe that through speeches and even the human rights issues that are raised, there are strategic plans to assassinate our leaders that are underway. And when I speak of a strategic plan to assassinate leaders, I need to be precise in my words so that everyone can understand. From the moment we talk about democracy, it is said that the AES countries must return to democracy. They must return to holding elections. What kind of democracy are we talking about? That question mark deserves to be raised, considering that from the 1960s to 2022, if I take the case of Burkina Faso, we have been governed by so-called democrats who were installed, put in place by people sitting on the other side of the oceans. What has been the impact on the ground? Let me give a few examples. From 2022, that is from 1960 to 2022, that makes 62 years. Compared to the period from 2022 to 2026, that's 4 years. In 4 years, here is what has been accomplished. When the call was made to the Burkinabe people to face the current situation, starting in 2022, at the moment when I am speaking to you, the state has allocated 104 billion CFA francs to agricultural mechanization and inputs. And what results have we achieved? That means 104 billion, which is more. And this allowed us to reach 67,000 tons of cereals to feed the population. Isn't that defending human rights? If you have an accident right now and go to the hospital, you could die because we can't get a scan done. The cost has been reduced from 50,000 to 25,000. That's a 50% reduction during wartime. But from 1960 to 2022, this has never been done. I take, how should I put it? We have just launched the recruitment drive called Operation 1000 times 5. 1000 times 5 means that each year we will recruit 1,000 specialist doctors over 5 years. From 1960 to 2022, those who established their democracy here never did this. Let me give another example. We have just opened the hospital, the largest hospital in our country, on July 29, 2025 in in Bobo Dioulasso, in cooperation with China. And I tell you, Your Excellency, that in our country, since 1960, it was on July 29, 2025 in Tingango, that the first operation enabling a kidney transplant was performed in our country. When someone was sick, they had to take a plane. It was on the other side that they went to have it done. Now it is done in Burkina, in a country that is at war. Another example I would add is the construction of 920 CSPS from 2022 to 2026 in a country that is at war. On December 21st, 2025, or even up to what we have just observed after taking stock, there are 38 newly built health centers in a country that is at war. I could name others as well. People say, but what are human rights? It's the right to life, isn't it? Let me give another example. Regarding the development of lowlands. The development of lowlands to allow farmers, that is peasants, to be able to take care of them. We have gone from 5,000 hectares since the 1960s up to now. We have gone from 5,000 to 25,000 hectares in 2025. But this is a country at war. And still in the field of agriculture, for plowing, for the peasants who own the land, we take tractors and go plow it for them for free. And in 2025, we plowed 58,000 hectares of land for free for the peasants. Is there any greater defense of human rights than that? And when I take, for example, the armed forces, among the 11 agreements where it was stated that we cannot purchase equipment elsewhere unless it's from France, and we cannot train our soldiers elsewhere unless it's in France, I inform you that from 2022 to 2025, we have independently formed around 20 rapid intervention battalions, all fully equipped with at least 500 soldiers per battalion. And I'm not going to give the exact number because the enemy might be listening. And since these are military matters, if I give the details, you could prepare yourselves and come. I won't give everything. I'll just give an approximate figure. Whether it's less or more, you won't know. Second example, we have formed about 10 mobile police intervention unit groups. They are already deployed in the field. We have established gendarmerie legions throughout the entire country, nearly 10 mobile gendarmerie squadrons. They are already deployed in the field. From 1960 to 2022, there was only 1 airbase. Today, we have 4. From 2022 to 2026, 4 air bases. There you have it. But I say I'm giving approximate numbers, not the total. That's it. The volunteers for the defense of the homeland who have been considered as militias. I myself standing before you am a volunteer for the defense of the homeland. So these are not just men picked up off the street to say that we form militias. And all those who are volunteers for the defense of the homeland on the ground, as time goes on, we remove them, we integrate them directly into the army without training. Those who are not fit to join the army are placed either in entrepreneurship, whether it's agriculture, carpentry, or welding. That's what's being done in Burkina. So it's essential that we ask everyone to take off their blinders in order to better see reality. What we're saying is, yes, people say Burkina doesn't want democracy. We never said we don't want democracy. Democracy is a forced garment that people want to make us wear. We will not accept it. If our grandparents were forced to wear it, we are saying no. And we have the necessary ability to say no. And even tomorrow we will say no. Liberal democracy, whose principles are based on homosexuality, whose principles are based on marriage between 2 children, or with their mother or father, this is over. In Africa and in Burkina, there will be none of that. In our space, in the US, there will be none of that. So from this point of view, democracy has its principles. We think we can violate the constitution, get ourselves elected 3 or 4 times, settle in, and nothing happens. We kill 3,000 people, we install whoever we want, and nothing happens. And someone comes to power by force, supported by the people, without even a drop of blood being shed, and you think that this person should go? I'm telling you that there is a murder that is being covered up. I'll give you the references. You can even go and check on the ground how a major power will say it, right? Or in a report, they say yes, that satellites saw the FDS carrying out mass killings. Satellites that can see the FDS committing mass murders. Yet those same satellites are unable to spot terrorists organizing to attack your beautiful satellites. So are they binary or what? So they observe selectively. So your satellites, when it's your own people, they don't see anything. So there really is a problem. So I'll take the case of Gaddafi. It was exactly the same narrative that was used against Gaddafi. And there you have it. Those are the examples. Again, they said yes, quickly, human rights, who made a report and submitted it. First of all, the people at Human Rights need to understand that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights from 1589 was created 553 years after the Charter of Kurukan in 1236. You can't come and teach Africans what human rights are. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, for its part, was established 712 years after the Charter of Kurukan. That means that in Africa we know what human rights are about. So you take it, you say yes, Human Rights made a report, go file it among the reports that contributed to the adoption of the 1970 and 1973 resolutions, either 1970 or 1973, which led to the assassination of Gaddafi. They even said it was to create an aerial exclusion zone. It is a zone that was created. They intervened all the way to the ground. They went and massacred Gaddafi, and then they came back. And afterwards, we come back and say, no, the reports that were used there, the evidence wasn't consistent. There you go. These are people who called. That's it. It's online. You can look it up. And it's on this basis that Gaddafi, in 2025, has even just been convicted for criminal conspiracy and other charges. That means that the leaders of Human Rights Watch should also be held accountable as criminals. Criminal conspiracy, that's what it means. So, finishing up these examples. I say that Burkina Faso, within the ARS, we are committed not against a people, not against a person, not against a group. But if a group stands in the way of our interests, we will defend ourselves. That needs to be clear. We are committed to reclaiming our sovereignty. Political sovereignty, for example, we will no longer have leaders imposed on us. That's one point. Economic sovereignty, for example, our resources will serve our people. Our young people who die on the shores of the oceans, who come back here, that's over. Security sovereignty, for example, saying that we have to buy everything, military equipment and so on, from France, that's over. We will buy our equipment wherever we want. And even where we are heading now, it's about figuring out how to properly train our young people so that we can manufacture them in Burkina or in Niger or in Mali. It's because you know the brands and you can map them out. We will also create tunnels and then manufacture ourselves. Are we subhumans? No, we have brains too. That's it. But now cultural sovereignty. It's about preventing the continued erosion of our identity. We are engaged in the struggle to reclaim our identity. And when I said it's a conquest, it's not just any conquest in this world. We are ready. We who are here. If it means losing our lives for this, we are ready.